It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon at the Big A, where today the American League Central leading Tigers continue their series with the American League West leading Angels. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Udler with you. The Angels have lost the first two games of this series against Detroit and now hand the baseball to a guy who has not started in 19 days. That guy is Joe Saunders, coming off a left shoulder problem. How will he do?
Well, he feels good. If you ask him, he's never had better extension all year long. Since he had that knot problem, they took a little shot, the cortisone dissolved it. Joe Saunders is getting the extension that he was missing while right-handers were tearing him up with 20 home runs. Now he's back, but Joe Saunders is a premium sinker baller, Fizz. The thing he'll have to watch out for after missing those games is to not overthrow the sinker. Less is more for Joe, but he should be on track, and he will be the key for the Angels if they want to go deep in October. Sando's the man.
And it seems like the key to Joe Saunders' success today will be don't let Miguel Cabrera beat you.
Man, they cannot pitch to this guy if there's men on base. Now, with nobody out, go ahead and take your chances, nobody on base. But 7 ribbies in the first 2 games, Fizz. This guy has shown a great ability to hit that off-speed pitch. I mean, center field, right field, he'll pull him. But, man, don't you throw him anything near, as he's got a .548 average in his last 10 games. He's hot, and stay away from him, please.
So it'll be Saunders for the Angels against Miguel Cabrera, and on the mound, Edwin Jackson is going for Detroit. The fans coming to the Big A for a little sunshine, some great baseball, and maybe to see a little Senor Hunter going deep. It's the Angels and Tigers next on Fox Sports West. 3 straight are the only team in Major League Baseball yet to lose 4 consecutive games this season. They have been that consistent this year. The Angels at 74-50 with a 4-game lead in the Texas Rangers. Rangers are at Yankee Stadium later today. The Tigers in first place in the American League Central. They now have a 4.5-game lead on the White Sox and Minnesota Twins. Well, the Angels playing such strong baseball since June 12th, Rex, and their offense has been carrying them the last 2.5 months. They were due to hit some kind of offensive slide.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to happen. That's just the way baseball is. But to be on the top of the mountain like the Angels have been offensively all year, it's been pretty impressive. But they are going to face some pretty good pitching, and the Angels have in their last 6 or 7 games, and it's really shut the Angels' offense down. So that's when you rely on the pitching to start picking it up a little bit. That's what's been lagging most of the season. But you see that rock sitting there? It's about ready to be twirled by Joe Saunders. He's going to pick it up and go ahead and go, Joe. Joe is the key to the Angels the rest of the way through the season. If he can be consistent and he can do his thing, they should be all right.
Granderson, Polanco, Ordonez, and then Cabrera. Look what he has done the last 10 games. 4 big flies and 15 stakes, 7 of them here at the Big A in these 2 games. Thames, Rayburn, Inge, Avila, and Everett go for the Tigers. Joe Saunders out there, and this is his first start since August 7th, out with a left shoulder irritation. He had a cortisone shot, which calmed down the knot in his shoulder, allowing him to, as you said, extend on his pitches. He has a 5.33 earned run average, but he's a much better pitcher than that.
That's right. You know, let's mention that his arm speed is better than it's ever been all year. So that little break that Joe took was a well-needed rest, not just physically, but mentally as well. Now, right-handers have presented a problem for Joe during his time as he pitched, we found out, with that knot all year long. Now, 296 and 20 homers against right-handed batters. That's what he'll really have to focus on. The lefties are no problem. 248, 4 home runs. Sando want to keep it in the yard on a day game here at Angel Stadium where the weather plays heavy, especially in the home run department. The ball carries a lot further in daytimes. Joe will have to keep it down with his sinker, slider, curve, and change. Mix them up. Defending behind him, it's always important. Matthews Jr. is getting the start as Juan Rivera is going to take a little chill pill. It's being 1 for 10. He wants to take it easy on him. And we see that nice middle infield, but it's nice to see first baseman Kenny Morales back in there after getting last night off. Morales has been brilliant with the stick and been better than advertised defensively. He's been doing a great job, picking a lot of balls out of the dirt, playing a very nice first base this year for the Angels. Defensively, the Angels have aired 60 times. That's 3rd best in the league.
Joe Saunders on that hill to face a left-hander, Curtis Granderson, who's had a tough time against lefties this year. Curtis only batting 183. He swings at the first pitch and sends it foul, back and out of play. And I think what you'll want to see early is if Saunders has that late life on his 2-seamer and his changeup.
And that first pitch was down, and that's exactly where he wants to stay. But also, getting through the first inning will be a big key for Joe. Earlier in some of his starts, he had a hard time getting through the first, and lately we've seen Angels pit starters give up a few runs early in the game.
A swing and a miss, a 1-2 count. Mike Butcher very concerned. He was working with Joe Saunders this weekend. He came out of a bullpen session that you watched in Toronto, and Butcher was just elated. He thought it was a terrific power pen by Joe Saunders, and he strikes out Curtis Granderson, the first batter he faces since coming off the DL.
Okay, now just by seeing that first batter, you can see the confidence in Cool Joe. Joe's always had a great mound presence and cool demeanor, but look at where he's executing. He took no time for one of the most feared leadoff hitters in the land as far as home runs goes. Granderson has 25. He looked good. Saunders, you know, he's a lot more confident, I can tell.
Here is Placido Polanco having a good series, 4 for 10 and hitting .315 his last 6 weeks of the season. He's moved his numbers up to .273. Detroit very soft this year offensively, only batting .258 as a team, but they have picked it up recently.
Yeah,
certainly
down
in this series.
They're down in the bottom of the pack as far as batting average goes.
Fly ball struck to center field. Torrey Hunter back. He is there, makes the catch. 2 quick outs. And I'm sure Saunders wants to get their top of the order out. The 1 through 4 hitters are 15 for 35 in the first 2 games of this series. That's Granderson, Polanco, Ordonez, and Cabrera, and they've also combined for 11 runs and 12 RBIs.
Well, we're going to see the real Joe today, no question. And, just because he's missed a couple starts doesn't mean that he's going to be off or he's going to take some time. You can see he's coming right in there, and he's keeping the ball down. We didn't see this type of conviction in Joe in earlier starts, especially in the first inning. So far, so good.
His last start was August 7th. He allowed 5 runs in an inning and 2/3 before being removed from the game. Joe said he had the knot in his shoulder as far back as spring training to pitch through it. He said, hey, we didn't have Lackey. We didn't have Santana. I had to suck it up. And he pitched beautifully in the first month of the season with John and Urban out.
He learned a lot. Joe Saunders in his 3rd solid season with the Angels. It's the first year here he's ever eaten a little humble pie in the game. Humble pie awaits all if you pitch long enough, but Joe learned a lot about that first half of the season. What he wants to do now, you see that 95, he's going to use that upstairs. And I talked about his arm speed, it's much better, and that's evident. Sando, he can use that pitch up to get some guys if velocity's back, Joe's back.
I think it's been a couple of months since we've seen that velocity.
Oh, you know what? You're right. But when I say he learned a lot, he learned about pitching through pain, and major leaguers in general all know how to play with pain. But he also learned that, look, that could have caused more problems for him, and that's what Butcher was upset about, the fact he didn't say anything. But there had to have been something wrong. Saunders, no way he gives up this many home runs to guys, and they figured it out. He took a little mental break. But Mike Butcher, he's been fabulous in his time here with the Angels, helping every pitcher out there, especially on the mental side. He's a very technical pitching coach.
Ordonez punches one to right field for a bloop base hit, so 2 outs. And uh-oh, here comes Miguel Cabrera, who has been on fire.
You know, I used a word technical for Butchie, but also I used another word that Butchie may be surprised that it's in my vocabulary or even used for him, but he's very cerebral. He's a mental guy, but I've learned a lot by just going early to the ballpark and listening to him work the pitchers, and I'm learning a whole lot about pitching by Mike Butcher, and no doubt the pitchers are too.
Here is Miguel Cabrera having a great series, 5 for 10 with a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. They'll take the first pitch down low and in, ball 1. 10-game hit streak going.
And he's some kind of force. He doesn't jump. He's very relaxed. He's got great hands, and he just lets his eyes dictate where his hands are going to go. He stays inside the ball well. He uses the whole field, and he's extremely dangerous, as big and strong as he is.
He is 4th in the American League in batting at .344. The guys in front of him, Joe Mauer, .372, Ichiro Suzuki, .359, and Jason Bartlett, .346 for the Rays.
Another alarming trend for Mike Scioscia has been the pitch count has been taxed by his starters early in games. So if Joe can get through this right here, this will be the first time an Angel starter has gotten through without expending less than 20.
2-1.
Yeah, so Joe's going to take his time here a little bit with Miguel. But still, you don't want to overanalyze a guy that's hot. You just want to kind of go ahead and pitch to your strengths and not to his weaknesses.
Cabrera takes it high. The count moves to 3-1. On deck is a right-hander, Marcus Thames, and he is the guy they usually have there when the southpaws are throwing.
Ooh, he's country strong.
Jim Leyland's Tigers have opened up a 4.5-game lead on the White Sox and Twins. They're playing marvelous defense. 4 great plays by the Tigers in last night's 5-3 win. Up the middle, covered by his tourists, and the Angels survive a meeting with Cabrera.
That's unusual. Sando looking good. Cool Joe looks back.
taking pictures, and check out the Angels batting order. Sean Figgins will lead things off. It's a batting order brought to you by AM/PM. Abreu, then Hunter. 2 hits and 2 walks last night. He's batting .400 since his return from the DL when he missed 32. Guerrero, Morales, Costuras, Ibar, Napoli, and Matthews round out the Angels 9 for Mike Scioscia, and they'll be facing a guy who can bring the heat. Edwin Jackson. Last time the Angels faced him in the 9th inning, he was clocked at 99 miles an hour.
You know, after starting last year with Tampa Bay, he finally started to figure out how to repeat his release point, throw more quality strikes. And so far this season with the Tigers, he's done a solid job of throwing those quality strikes consistently and working the outer half of the plate with that good fastball. But see, Tampa Bay got him ready for Detroit. He's been a good fit. Mainly throws 2 pitches. Although he'll show 4, he relies mainly on his fastball and slider to get the job done. He's been pitching with a lot of confidence and has fit nicely in this Tigers rotation, and there's no complaints from Jim Leyland, as all they had to do was give up a seldom used outfielder for a quality starter like Jackson, but there was no room for him in Tampa Bay.
I always thought there would be room for a good starting pitcher, and he won 14 games for the Rays last year, lost only 11 with a 4.42 earned run average. This year with Detroit, 10 wins, and he has the 3rd lowest ERA in the American League, behind Zach Greinke and Felix Hernandez. And how about Greinke last night with a 15 strikeout performance and a victory for KC?
Piggy's a .538 hitter against Jackson. He likes the fastball.
Fouled out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Figgins having a good series, 5 hits and 10 at bats. He had 3 hits last night. That was his 44th multi-hit game, and that's the most on the Angels.
Mainly 2 pitches he'll go, and he might use his curve or his changeup later, but those are not used as much as the fastball slider.
Down low. Count is full, 3-2. Figgins, one of the most disciplined leadoff men in baseball. He's been averaging 4.2 pitches per plate appearance, and that is number 1. He's great. Bobby Abreu, who have been fantastic for the Angels, and they go 1-2. And there's ball 4, so a good start for the Angels with Sean Figgins, who leads them in stolen bases with 37, now at first with nobody out.
All right, defensively behind Edwin Jackson. Now they're 10th in the league in fielding, but you'd never know it watching these first 2 games. This defense has been airtight. They've been solid. And Polanco, that guy's got the best fielding percentage of any second baseman in the AL. He's good. He's only aired twice. A solid defender. And man, some of the plays that these guys have made in the first 2 games have really put them in the league of the Angels. As far as the Angels defense they've been playing, the Tigers got a little of their own, and they're bringing some pitching, some front end and some back end pitching in this series.
Figgins with the lead does not go. Abreu takes strike 1. Last night it was Granderson, Inge, Avila, and then Cleet Thomas. 4 terrific plays, and I thought those 4 plays denied the Angels of a victory.
No doubt. Defense is going to win you some games along with good pitching. Now Verlander, he had a hard time keeping that game going. In game 1, he had a hard time holding that 10-0 lead, and that's what Leland said. But Washburn, he got roughed up early, but he settled down and made some good in-game decisions and adjustments. So now Jackson, they're facing their 3rd tough starter in a row, and it's not going to be easy for the Halos. However, they'll gain some confidence if they can score some early runs again off Jackson, like they did Washburn last night.
Edwin's last slider was really tough, and Bobby swung and missed, so I'm not sure if Sean is going to be going on an 0-2 count. He does not go, and the pitch is high. That game in June, on June 6th, may have been his best of the year. He beat the Halos 2-1. It was a tight game throughout, and as I told you earlier, was hitting 98, 99 in the radar gun in the 9th inning, and he wound up throwing 109 pitches, giving up 1 run on 4 hits.
And wasn't that Kelvin's only start? We saw him this year in 2 years.
His last start. Fouled back.
Wow. Well, that's too bad about Kelvin Escobar. That was a great arm that they could have used, but he wasn't recovering from any of his workouts, and so they kind of shut him down.
And that really affected not only the starting rotation, but the bullpen, because when he was moved out of the starting rotation, it seemed like we always felt that Kelvin would be there the final month and a half of the season. Never turned out that way, and done for the year. Figgins does not go. Bobby takes low.
So first two pitchers have milked 13 already. This is one of the great traits of this offense that's emerged this year, other than any other year in Mike Scioscia's 10 years. It's because the boss told Mickey Hatcher, I've seen some alarming trends in the minor leagues. I want to put an end to that. We're going to start developing plate discipline here. And it helped with Mark Teixeira, 2 months they had with him last year, and then with Abreu every day.
Figgins goes. The ball is popped up. Shallow center. Figgins backing up as Granderson makes the catch, and there's one out. So bottom of the first.
We got to show our fans the little jack in the box of the opponents outside the box last night. Heck, they were running them down. That saved the run right there. Granderson's legs. Inge, he saved another one there and ends up getting two on Big Daddy Vladdy. This ball kicked away. Abreu thought he could make it with the bases loaded last night. Another great transfer from Avila, the catcher, and that play right there was off the charts. The Angels would have scored another one, but what a play out there by Cleat. Cleat was outstanding. There's Inge. Granderson in center. But the ball's going to be flying out of here, and the home run will make a difference in today's game. Also, the sun has an effect on the defense as well. We might see one play either side that could determine the outcome of the game with a drop ball in the sun here at the Big A. Usually one a game.
Figgins with the lead. He goes. The pitch is taken. Throw by Gerald Laird is not in time. A steal by Figgins, his 38th. There will be an argument with Polanco. And now Jimmy Leland comes out to discuss matters with second base umpire Mark Carlson.
Well, Gerald Laird, he has the best throwing percentage as far as throwing runners out in the league, 41%. He short hopped it. Nice pick by Polanco, but the short hop pick didn't allow him to get the tag on him before Figgy got that foot underneath the tag. So it's a correct call and a good one. And Leland getting a little early exercise here in this game, ran out to no avail.
So Sean in scoring position, bottom of the first inning. Torrey Hunter at the plate with the count 1-1. Laird, you see 43% of opposing base stealers thrown out this year. Number one in the major leagues. He's the guy who replaced Ivan Rodriguez in Texas. Low and in. The count is 2-1, and you can see where Torrey Hunter continues to wear that shin guard on his left shin. He fouled a ball off. I mean, flush off that shin. He was not wearing it, was down for about a minute and a half, but he continued to play, and we saw him limping noticeably when he'd go out to fly balls in the gaps left and right center.
Better today. I talked to him. I looked at it. Didn't have any swelling or anything. He's tough.
Carly slept with the ice around his shin. You see his numbers. He was the Angels MVP in the first half and then had to come out of the lineup because of a right adductor strain, which cost him 32 games. Swing and a miss. The count goes to 3-2. But Torrey is batting .400 since his return from the DL. 12 hits and 30 at bats. Still looking for his first home run since coming off the disabled list.
And I told him about your comment last night. Fizz says, hey, Hud, why don't they just get that ethyl chloride spray out and spray it on there, that instant cool? And he laughed and said, man, Hud, where's the professor been? They outlawed that back in the early 90s. And I told him, and then we went on and told some stories about that cold spray. He loved it too. Heck, that was instant relief whenever they turned that little thing on.
Hunter with a drive to left center field. Back goes Granderson to the wall. He leaps, and it is gone. Torrey Hunter's first home run since coming off the DL.
Home runs will make a difference in a day game at the Big A, and Torrey Hunter has finally checked in with the long ball. We talked about how he can hit and get those singles and doubles, but that's what they came to know and love about Torrey this season, driving the bus with the power. That's his 18th of the year.
Season high 12-game hit streak for Torrey Hunter, and it gives the Angels an early 2-0 lead here against Detroit. Vlad Guerrero with a rip foul, strike one.
I mean, seeing a ball game today, the ball carries so much further. Last night, Granderson catches that before it even gets to the track. But because it had the backspin on it and it gets up high, the ball barely snuck over the wall. That's a day game home run here at the Big A.
Well, Jackson has surrendered at least one home run in 8 of his last 9 starts, a total of 12 home runs allowed. He has not been able to get that ball down around the knees where he's so successful earlier, but also his team doesn't score many runs. Ground ball short, picking it off Everett. Vladdy is second out of the first inning. Jackson has received 3.85 runs per 9 innings at support this year. That's the 4th lowest in the American League. He easily could have 13-14 wins. I mean, you've got a 2.86 earned run average, but Hunter took him yard, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead. That is number 18 for Torrey, and also RBI 69 and 70. Kendry Morales did not start last night's game with a lefty out there. Mike Scioscia wanted to give Kendry at least 6-7 innings off, and that was exactly the situation. Morales did come in late, and he's the guy who hammered the ball that Clete Thomas caught at the wall, or it could have driven in a run to make it a 5-4 game. Angels did get Figgins at third base with 1 out in the 9th. Then you go back and you go, well, maybe the Angels plan it differently with Figgins at third and down by 1. Instead, they were down by 2. And there is a shot to center field. Granderson back. He'll make the catch. Morales is out. So are the Angels. But Mr. Hunter is a big game hunter in game 3 of this series. He hits number 18.
There you go, Joe Saunders.
Number 48, Torrey Hunter, goes deep, and the Angels take a 2-0 lead. If the Angels lose today, it would be the first time they have been swept at home all year. As a matter of fact, the last time they were swept overall this year was May 15th through the 17th at Arlington. But look how far you have to go back before a 3-game sweep. It was against Kansas City 2 years ago. Marcus Thames will lead things off. Snapped an 0 for 16 slide on Sunday with a base hit. This guy has plenty of power, 13 home runs, 30 RBIs this year, and he swings and sends that ball foul. It scatters Jeff Mathis over near the Angels dugout.
Thames, he's got real good power. He hits mainly lefties. He's got 243 average with 4 homers this year against them.
Joe working upstairs at 91 miles an hour, now has the advantage at 1-2. Saunders 9 wins this year.
Well, Sando, he's getting the advantage of getting an early lead. First time Angels have scored in the last 6 games in the first inning. So that's what I meant by it's been rare that a pitcher lately has gone out there with the lead. So Sando's going to take that along with his real nice first inning.
He is a left-hander, certainly capable of putting up big numbers. Last year, made it to the All-Star game, won 17 games, most for the Angels last season, and had a solid 3.41 ERA. This year, the ERA is up 2 runs, but as we told you, he was pitching through pain, had a knot in his left shoulder. That is dissipated. But as he told me, he said he tried to manipulate his mechanics too much, and that threw him off. And as you said, that can be trouble and can be dangerous, can lead to something worse. Thames hits it down the line foul.
Nice hot day here at the Big A. Man, is it hot. So you don't want your defense out on that field very long. Sando wants to see if he can get Thames out of there.
Here is the 8th pitch from Joe to Marcus Thames, the 3-2. Swung on, fouled off of Mike Napoli. That hurt.
Yep, that's a tester early. Tough spot whenever you get hit, but especially when you get hit there.
Yep.
Sure, it might need a little time to breathe through that.
And Jimmy Wolf, the home plate umpire, dusts off that plate, and there's one of his closest friends, Jeff Mathis. They share an apartment down in Irvine together. Mike Napoli and Jeff Mathis, both from the state of Florida. Pitch runs inside, and that is ball 4. Hey fans, tomorrow is Hall of Fame game for the Angels. Chuck Finley and for Brian Downing. That's going to be special. They'll be inducted into the Angels Hall of Fame. The ceremony was originally scheduled for the April 9th game. Tickets from April 9th will be accepted, and all fans in attendance will receive an Angels Hall of Fame plaque courtesy of AT&T. A limited amount of tickets are still available at angelsbaseball.com. You'll get a bus just like that one. And Finley, 165 wins. You had him on your show, your radio show yesterday. What a delight to talk to. He's got some funny stories.
And great personality, good sense of humor.
Over 20 Angel alumni are expected to be on hand to see the tandem join current members Nolan Ryan, Rod Carew, Bobby Critch, Don Baylor. Good to see Jim Fregosi here, and Jimmy Reese will be honored. Jimmy Reese in that Hall of Fame.
Okay, that changeup about 92, 91 is the effective one. Joe Saunders, when he was throwing his warm-ups and he was doing some side sessions in Toronto, he was telling Butchie that felt good, but I don't want to throw it that hard. It takes away from my sinker. So he wants to stay down and roll a pair.
And he usually will get a couple of double plays a game. He throws it by Ryan Rayburn here, the 27-year-old outfielder from Tampa, Florida, who's been hot. Rayburn hitting .370 his last 23 games to raise his average to .274. They've been using Rayburn in this series as a late game replacement defensively.
With 10 homers, it's not too bad having a guy like that off the bench.
This will help. Ibar to his Turris to Morales, 2 outs.
That's why they call it the pitcher's best friend. Shows up for Sando when he needed it. Cuts down on the pitch counts, and also you can't hit it to a more solid tandem than these two guys. Now Howie Kendrick, he's certainly no slouch, but Mighty Meister Asturis gets the call today, and with those two up the middle, nothing hardly gets through them. Might get by him, but you better hit it hard. They got good range, but very fundamentally sound.
Now the veteran Brandon Inge. And he chases the first pitch, and it's a fastball perfectly located, strike 1.
So have you seen that radar gun? And it's blooming today for Joe Saunders. We talked about his arm speed, the fact that he's releasing the ball a lot better coming out of his hand. He's getting extension, and he looks a lot more confident because he's got everything back. Good breaking ball there. It had some good bite to it. Napoli just tried to keep it in front, nobody on base.
The Angels would really like to see Saunders go, and Mike Scioscia said we won't send him 115 to 120 pitches, but 85 to 90, even a if it's 100, if he's efficient with his pitches, we'd like to see him go. We've seen Saunders go into the 7th throwing 85 to 90 pitches, past the 7th. Angels have lost the first 2 games 10-7 and 5-3 with 2 of their top pitchers, Weaver and Lackey, giving up 10 runs in 11 1/3 innings. The 2-1, Inge tried to check his swing, but it was in the zone anyway, and he went past. 2-2.
Can strike Inge out. He's punched out 132 times this year.
Full count.
See, that's a little bit too hard for Joe right there. A little bit firm. You can get away with that. Now, up above the belt, as hard as that is, wants to utilize that sink.
In there, strike 3 call. Make it 133 strikeouts for Inge this year, and he'll have words with Jim Wolf.
Sinker at 91. Perfect. He didn't overthrow this one. Look at that. That's Sando.
Two 2-0 Angels, and look at that. The Big A is getting a makeover. We're going to have a full color, high definition video board out there under the Big A, and they are giving a fresh coat of red paint. They say it'll be done by the end of September.
Yep, and when you pull into the ballpark today on this hot day, you see that big crane out there. You know that the Big A, she's getting a facelift.
It originally served as the scoreboard beyond left field in 1966 and moved in 1979 when the stadium was enclosed for the Rams. Here is Meiser Turris with a ground ball to Polanco, and he is the first man out to start the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's a day game after 2 really good crowds, well over 40,000, and last night's game 42,970 watched it, and the Angels lost 5-3. Edwin Jackson trying to get back on beam after giving up a 2-run home run to Torrey Hunter in the first. Ibar's had a good series.
Ibar's 2 for 3 off of Jackson.
That's his 4th hit of the series, a line drive to left field, so the Angels have speed on first with 1 out.
Nice level stroke, fastball, met it perfectly. Find the holes. That's what you want to do. Jackson looking at his middle infielders now, saying, all right, who am I working with on a double play ball? You know, the pitcher needs to know there was up and in. Short swing. He didn't try to do too much of that. Pitcher's got to know before the ball's hit to him who he's throwing it to on a comeback. Is it going to be Polanco? Is it going to be Everett? Usually, if the batter like Napoli is a pull hitter, it'll be the second baseman who's to the offside will cover the base. And that sign is given by the shortstop or the second baseman to each other before the pitch is thrown. They let each other know who's covering on the steal. And that's usually done with an open, closed mouth. Body language is the premium language spoken up here in the grand game. Okay, there they are. Everett, solid shortstop. Had a little bit of a tough year this year in just 90 games. He's aired 12 times, but you know, when you're on that side of the diamond, you're going to make a few, but he's a solid fielder in his career.
Ramon Santiago went the first 2 starts, and Polanco was only aired twice at second base this year. Napoli fouls it back. The count evens at 1-1 with a speed guy like Ibar at first base and a right-handed batter facing a hard thrower like Jackson, who likely would be there to cover.
Napoli's, I'm going to play him to pull, even though he's got opposite field power. Usually they just play the percentages, and it's the second baseman will be covered.
Napoli with 17 home runs this year. He skies that one left side. Inge for a look, but that's well back into the seats. We'll try it again at 1-2.
Napoli hits him high and he hits him far when he gets them. They're moonshots. It's because of that uppercut swing that he has and a nice follow through.
Baseball dropped out of Jim Wolf's bag, so Mike Napoli said, hey, you might want to clean up your area. Make me happy, Nappy. That means a big fly is in order. And he can deliver. 17 big flies this year with his 48 RBIs. Ibar is chased back to the bag. A close play and a fine throw by Jackson.
Yep, Cabrera didn't have to move his glove. Hey, watch this on our Howard's Exmo. Slows it down 1,000 times, and that, ooh man, now he looks like he might have got him on the shoulder there, but Ibar will get away with it. That was his A move, I would say. Didn't get the call.
Ibar does not go, and Napoli swings and misses at the off-speed pitch and strikes him out.
Ooh, yeah, he fooled him just a little bit. Napoli, he likes that. Just kind of pulled off of the hair. Yeah, that was kind of a hanger. It hung out there in the middle. Took just enough off of it, though, to get him out front.
When Edwin is on, he gets more ground ball outs than strikeouts, but that's now 129 this season. He's facing Gary Matthews Jr. getting the start. Matthews has good numbers against Edwin. Mike Scioscia giving Juan Rivera the day off. He is 6 for 10 against the Tigers' right-hander.
Yeah, I'll say that's pretty good success.
Jackson enters his start this afternoon against the Angels, second among American League pitchers with a .232 batting average against. We told you he's third in ERA at 2.86. That's outside, and his 7.81 hits per 9 innings in our 8th. He's been tough this year, but as we told you, he's been elevating the baseball of late. He's given up a total of 19 home runs this year, but 13 recently. Total of 13 in his last 9+ starts. Ibar does not go. It's outside again, trying to tease Gary Matthews Jr. with the off-speed stuff, and Gary's hurt him on his fastball when he's thrown that in the past.
He's been consistent. Jackson has. He eats up nearly 7 innings per start. Managers love that. Makes it easy on their bullpen.
In there, 2-1.
Ibar, his confidence is getting much better on the bases. This year he's stolen 12 bags. He's gotten caught 5 times. But in recent years, he hasn't had a whole lot of stolen bases because he's just, he's got to gain confidence over there. He's got the speed.
Matthews on that last road trip to Baltimore, Cleveland, and Toronto. We saw some excellent at-bats. Plate discipline was there. He was walking a lot. And the Angels obviously had a successful road trip, going 6-4 and scoring a lot of runs. Mickey Hatcher saw Matthews get comfortable when Hunter was on the DL and Gary playing just about every single day. Ibar goes. The pitch is taken. Throw by Laird. Not in time. The second steal of the day for the Angels.
Hey, nothing against Laird. Those both balls that he's thrown have been right there. But the Angels are getting good jumps. Talked about Ibar getting more comfortable. You know, in 04, in Rancho Cucamonga and A-ball, he stole 51 bags. Okay, that led the league. He can steal. He's been slow evolving as he slides to the outside farthest part of the bag. That's on that far corner. That's where the infielder's got to take his tag all the way. That's smart base running and agility.
Love that Exmo. Barely got his hand in there in time, and Matthews now walks. So the pitch count moving up. Jackson is now thrown 41 pitches in this afternoon's ball game. That's his second walk of the day. Let's check out our United States Marines leaders of the game. How about the Angels controlling the American League West? They led every day in 2007 from May 9th on. Last year they led from May 13th on. This year it was July 11th when they overtook the Rangers. One time the Angels were 4.5 games back on going into the game on June 12th. Since that time they've turned things around. They now lead by 4 games over Texas. And as well as the Angels have played, Texas is playing equally as well the last month. I mean, they have just not quit, and they beat the Yankees last night 10-9.
Well, it's going to be a great finish and a lot of fun. I think it's welcomed that the Rangers are playing so well this year to push the Halos a little bit. Now, Sean Figgins, heck, he's got an on-base percentage today coming in at .399. He's been over 400 most of the year. But when it comes to producing runs, heck, Figgy's a run producer as well. As the Angels overall hit .306 with runners in scoring position, and Figgy with a .356 average.
He scored his 97th run of the year, which leads the American League in the first inning when Hunter hit one out, and Figgins was aboard. So 3 shy of 100. 2 on, 2 out. Figgins hits it sharply, but right at the shortstop. Everett throws him out. And that'll do it for the Angels. They do continue to push the starting pitcher, Edwin Jackson. California Ford dealers. See what's new at scforddealers.com. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, play Jack's Big Rip-Off. Order any large combo and rip the game piece off the cup for a chance to win free food, cool gaming prizes, or 1 of 5 ultimate game rooms. Go to jacksbigrip-off.com for details. You can get some great deals at that Angels team store. And here we have a 2-0 lead on Torrey Hunter's first inning home run. To the third we go. Joe Saunders coming back from the DL, a sharp 2 innings. He will face the bottom of the order, Gerald Laird and Adam Everett, and then #1 hitter Curtis Granderson. Ball 1 to Laird. He's a Southern California guy. We've said for many years he grew up an Angel fan nearby in Westminster, went to La Quinta High School.
Yep, he's got a little pop in his bat. But overall, average wise, 223. He's had better seasons than that, but that's his first year with a new club. We love his throwing skills.
He hits that one high and deep, left center field. Matthews, battling the sun, is back there and makes the catch. Oh, man. Gary really had to adjust his body because the sun's staring him right in the eyes. And he backed off, shaded his eyes, and makes the catch for out number 1.
Talk about it. One ball today will fall against one team. Now, Junior, he staggered a little bit on the ropes, but he regains his form enough to make the catch and not trap it against the wall. Okay, you use that hand to help block the sun while you try to focus on catching. It's not easy.
And you see where the shadow images are right behind Gary, so he was in the worst of situations.
That ball was another day game. Almost homer here at the Big A. Ball flies out of here. Of course, you know, I talked to Jackson a couple days ago, Edwin, about the carry on the day game when he told me he was pitching. And I said, yeah, watch out, man. Better keep that ball down. Ball flies out of here. And he goes, same way in Comerica. He goes, day games there, same thing, Hud. So I don't even worry about that. I just pitch my game.
Angels love it in the day. They are 26-9 this year in day games, better than the Phillies or the Tigers, and all 3 of those teams lead their divisions. The Phillies up in the National League East by plenty, 7 games up on both Atlanta and Florida, and the Tigers, of course, lead both Chicago and Minnesota by 4.5.
Okay, Everett, he's the number 9 batter. Last time through, first time in the order. And Sando starting to bring in that curveball a little bit here. Okay, that's a pitch that he'll need the rest of the game to keep this Tigers offense off balance. It's a field pitch.
Everett chases a bad ball away from him, and Joe Saunders gets his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Hey fans, the Angels are having their first ever backed by popular demand promotional giveaway night. This Friday, August 28th, the Angels will be bringing back some of the most popular kids items from earlier this season. Each 2 through 18-year-old child will be allowed to choose one free item. Tickets for this game are still available in the view level for just $5, and the right field pavilion as low as $10 when using the password SUMMER at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. I wonder if Matt Bennett had anything to do with that. Matt is so gracious, coming up with items when you're in need. You're going out to a program or a little league or a Boys and Girls Club to help out. He always gives you some extra items to give to the kids.
Right. Matt's the community relations director here for the Angels.
Does a great job.
Yeah. Sando, he's threw a couple nice breaking balls down to Granderson. And he's really starting to feel that pitch. And it looks pretty good. The depth looks nice. Break. Fastball there. Jim Wolf's behind the plate today. Speaking of Southern California guys, that's where him and his brother Randy are from. West Hills.
Brother Randy having a good year with the Dodgers.
Yeah, he sure is. But I'll tell you, Jim Wolf, the home plate umpire, his mom Judy's watching in West Hills. I said, really? We'll give her a little shout out, Mom. Way to go. Your sons, you got to be really proud. I said, does she watch all the time? He said, no, only when I'm behind the plate. Well, so we hope that he doesn't take any scuds off of his mask or anything off of his body like the previous umpires in the series. They've had a real difficult time. Tim Wilkie took one off his mask. He had one a week ago, and so they sent him home just to make sure that kept all of the his essentials in that mental area, because that's really taxing concussions on foul balls. And then we saw Chad Fairchild. He's the third base umpire. He's got a little wrap around that right there to contain the swelling. He took a foul tip flush off of that forearm, and I went in and checked on those guys today. Want to give them a little love, and I saw Bud Selig, his signature on his arm. That's how hard he got hit. I saw seams. Whenever you get drilled by a ball, whether it's a thrown ball or a hit ball, you'll usually wear the seams somewhere on your flesh.
So that's that tattoo on your left wrist.
Yeah.
Years ago.
And you hope you don't get domed, because that is danger.
This is the 9th pitch from Saunders to Granderson. Good battle. The count's 3-2. Joe trying to finish him off, and he does, as he blows him away with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Sando, free and easy.
In both innings, as he was able to wiggle out of a 2-on-2 out jam by getting Figgins on a hard ground ball to short to end the second. Abreu has a 1-0 count. Bobby 2 for 8 in the series with a home run. That came in game 1 on Monday when the Angels lost 10-7. They also lost yesterday 5-3. Outside, so Jackson falling behind. He has already walked a pair. Figgins in the first, he scored on Hunter's home run, and Matthews on a 3-2 count in the second. And on deck, Mr. Hunter sent one over the left center field wall back in the first. In there, 3-1. Bobby was taken all the way.
You put runners out there, though, 3-0, he might be hacking. A lot of Angels in this lineup had green light, I'm sure. As productive as they've been, all top 1 through 9.
There is ball 4, so a leadoff walk to Bobby Abreu, and you had a nice conversation as we take a look at our Lexus Pursuing Perfection.
That's right. We're always having conversations, Biz. That's our gig. But man, when it comes to talking about Torii Hunter and the 17 home runs he hit mostly in the first half, that would qualify him for an MVP of the team. But since then, that's been the first time he's homered, and it's a welcome sight for the Halos, and that's Lexus Pursuing Perfection, of course, because they're outstanding and they got a nice ride, smooth.
So speed on with Abreu, with 26 stolen bases this year in 32 attempts, and Torii Hunter, speed and power at the plate.
Jackson, man, he's got quick feet. He don't mess around when he's throwing over to first base.
He has really matured into a fine pitcher. He's selected to the American League's All-Star squad, and he was one of the club's 4 representatives for the All-Star game in St. Louis. He tossed a scoreless inning of relief, and that was his first selection. He was deserving to go last year in a 14-win season. But this year, he had a 2.52 ERA before the All-Star break, and that's the lowest, how about this, since Mark Fidrych back in 1976. fouled out of play.
What happened to be another Tiger?
Well, we're talking about in the Detroit organization.
That's awesome.
But, I mean, we're talking Jack Morris, Dan Petrie, Justin Verlander. None had a lower ERA before the All-Star break than that man, Edwin Jackson, who's just 25 years old. He's born in Germany, comes from a military background, but raised in Columbus, Georgia. Abreu with the lead at first base. The Angels have already stolen 2 in the game. Bobby does not go. Hunter takes high. It's a 2-1 count. Dean Weeble flashing those signs from third base, both to the runner and to the hitter.
Says he's got 3 or 4 different players with different sets of signs, and that's not unusual. When you're with these guys every day and play every single game, you get to know them very well. Who gets the signs, who doesn't, you know, what he gets from Socia, he has to decipher and then transfer it to the players.
I'll give our fans an idea of what is an indicator.
Indicator is going to be, that's when everything's on. Okay, you watch for the indicator. You don't watch for anything else. If you don't see him hit the indicator, nothing's on. But then once he goes to the indicator, then you become alert and you see the hot spot, and it's usually the first touch after that. Here's the indicators, the hat, okay? Hat's the indicator. Watch out. First touch, this might be take. Bunt is the belt, steal is the leg. Keep it as simple as possible. He's going to go through a bunch of signs. If you don't go to the hat, it ain't happening. And once he goes to that hat, you better be alive, because the next touch is usually the spot. Now, I'm not saying I know their signs and never would want to know them.
Abreu goes, and the Angels have their 3rd steal of the game. Bobby with number 27, so he got the indicator, which was the steal, going to the leg. And
I'm just going back to the basics in high school, what my high school coach used. You want to keep them simple for these guys. They're not rocket scientists. Got to keep it simple. You don't want to trick your guys. If you're tricking them, then they're not getting the signs, then you're in trouble as a third base coach. So I've known lots of third base coaches that stand in front of a mirror and they give their signs and see what it's looking like. Okay, and they're digging themselves. I'm sure most of them get a lot of help by doing that.
Torrey Hunter is the 4th walk by Edwin Jackson. Steve Physiok today with a man named Hud, also known as NASA. He is a rocket scientist.
Yeah, look, let me just tell you that this game is, you got to keep it simple. It's very difficult to play consistently at this level, but it's hard, and you want to keep it as simple as possible. But now the Angels, with nobody out, they got a little something going here, and Rick Knapp, the pitching coach, is just reminding Jackson to keep the ball down, but don't you dare bounce one to Vladdy, because if you bounce one to him, he might hit one out of the park today. Keep him out of the dirt on Vladdy.
Vlad wants to keep it off the ground because that denied the Angels of a run in the first inning yesterday. Vlad came up, a couple of guys on, and hit a screamer to third, and Enge dove, made a tremendous play, got the force at second, and then the inning-ending double play. The 3 steals by the Angels today are the most Laird has allowed all season in one game. And there it goes to third. Trouble here, 5-4-3. Yikes. Abreu moves to third in the play.
Yep, that's one thing Vladdy's been doing. When he's not getting clean hits, he's hitting them at people, and they're turning 2 on him. Okay, Enge very quick on his feet. Set back, got that one right to him. That's a routiner. Good firm feed. Polanco with no problem. Torrey Hunter bailed out. Nothing wrong with that either.
So now the Angels need a 2-out base hit, and they've been hitting almost 300 with 2 out men in scoring position this year. Bobby at third base. Pitches low and in. Bobby was at third base last night with Zach Miner on the mound. A ball was thrown in the dirt, and Abreu broke from third. Avila scrambled to get the baseball through to Miner covering, and they got Bobby Abreu. After the game, Bobby said he should not have gone. There's a base hit up the middle. Abreu will score, and that's good 2-out hitting by Henry Morales.
We've seen a lot of 2-out rallies by the Angels this season, and they do it with regularity. So that's a nice trait that you get. The 2 outs, you know, somebody might crack in the dugout. Hey, fellas, it all starts with 2, man. Let's go. We got it right where we want it. We got 2 outs. Let's go. And that breaks the opponent's back, especially the pitcher. That's a short swing He's just trying to make some contact. Does a little flamingo kick. That's the front leg, and he sets it down. And doesn't Howard's and Exmo show us a nice follow through by K-Mo? That's beautiful.
Really picked up the Angels, kept the momentum in their favor after 2 had reached, and then the 5-4-3 double play, kind of a belt to the gut. But Morales picks the team up with a big base hit, and he now takes the team lead with 85 RBIs. How about that? His first full season in the major leagues, and he might be a 100 RBI man.
They knew, Scioscia knew, when Artie Moreno, when they took a chance on Teixeira last year at the end of the year, they said, look, if we can't re-sign this guy, who's going to be our first baseman? Scioscia says, we have another in-house solution. K-Mo, he's right here. He's ready for a shot. Artie says, okay, I trust you baseball people to make the baseball decisions. I'll stay on the marketing side. I'll stay up in the front office where I belong, but I want to be informed. And they have a good dialogue. They have a very good communication. Tony Regan's to Artie's right, to our left. And that's the great Artie Moreno there. Very proud of his franchise.
Nicer is Turris to right field, not deep enough. Ordonez there, makes the catch, but Morales comes through with 2 out. A base hit up the middle to give the Angels a 3-0 lead going to the 4th at the Big A. Angels lead the Tigers 3-0. Top of the 4th inning as the Angels try to avoid the sweep. And it's time for our Aflac trivia question. And it's about Detroit pitching and the greatness of one Mickey Lolich in 1971. Now, ex-Tiger Lolich in 1968 is one of 3 pitchers since 1960 with 3 World Series wins in 1 year. Who are the others? We'll give you the answer later in the ball game. I was talking about Lolich in 71. That was the year he set the Tiger single season strikeout record with 308. And they've had some fine pitchers. Jack Morris, certainly one of their best, helped them to an '84 World Championship. Schoolboy Rowe was one of their top pitchers in the 1930s when the Tigers won back-to-back World Series in 34 and 35. Polanco dumps one into left field. Matthews has to play it on a hop, and there's a base hit for Placido. It's the second time in the game that Detroit has had their leadoff man on. Now they've got to go through the teeth of the lineup and right-handed batters Ordonez, Cabrera, and Thames.
You know, Polanco, he's a pesky hitter. He's the kind of hitter that give pitchers fits. Okay, he's like a gnat that's flying around your head. You hear it, you know, distracts you. You keep swiping at it, you know, but he just keeps dumping singles in there. You're having good at bats, taxing your pitch count. I guarantee you, pitchers don't like facing him.
They send Polanco on the first move by Joe Saunders, and he will successfully steal second base. Saunders gets a lot of double play, so Jim Leland sending him early in the count.
That's the Nat Polanco getting his 5th bag. I don't mean any disrespect by calling him a gnat or a flea. That's kind of bothersome. That's a compliment. This guy, they would almost rather face a power guy than facing Polanco. He's got skills.
1 ball, 1 strike to Maglio Ordonez. Well, it's Ordonez or Cabrera. Ordonez in 2007 hit .363. First batting champion since Cash in '61.
You look down the barrel of Maglio's bat or even Cabrera's bat on deck. Those guys can hurt you with one swing of the bat. But sometimes you're going to get swing and misses from a power guy. That's going back to talk about Polanco. Polanco, short swing, short to the ball, makes contact. Sometimes power hitters are swing and miss guys.
Well, Joe's asking for trouble here, not pitching to Ordonez because Cabrera, the hottest hitter, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, is on deck. And it's a 3-1 count. Maglio, with 7 home runs this year, the guy on deck, has 27. Listed foul, 3-2. Joe's got more options with Cabrera with first base open. But if Ordonez is there, then he's got to pitch to Miggy, and he's a guy who can tie the game with one swing of the bat. He has already hit 2 home runs in this series. Ordonez lined a single to right field his first time up.
And Ordonez, he's a tough guy to strike out. Just 56 punch outs this year, so he's not your typical guy that's going to go up there and swing and miss. So anything close now, 3-2, he'll be hacking most likely. Sanu going to try to find one that he can get by. Leland, bright manager with more maturity than most.
He walked him. 2 on for Cabrera. We told you at the start of the ball game the key to beating the Tigers offensively is don't let runners on. With Cabrera coming up, he has been incredibly hot of late. A 10-game hit streak in that time, batting over .548 in the previous 10. He grounded out to second base his first time up. If the Angels can get that here, they could get out of trouble. But nobody out and 2 on.
Sandoz had 1 double play turn for him earlier, and he's looking for another one here.
Ball 1. Misfired on that one. Saunders has allowed 3 hits in the ball game, but he's walked a pair and he struck out 4. Napoli coming out for a visit. Saunders, we told you, this is his first start since August 7th, so it's been 19 days. You would think that his command might be off. He had 2 very aggressive bullpen sessions. They did not have any simulated action against live hitters.
They don't feel like they need to. It's because, Joe looks good in that bullpen. He says, you know what, everything's fine. I feel better than I've felt all year long. So that's a good thing for the Angels in their starting rotation.
2-0 to Cabrera.
So in Jim Leland, he has Marcus Thames hitting behind Cabrera for protection. Thames is the DH today, but he swings a pretty lethal bat too as far as the home run ball goes. And got to have a little protection behind Cabrera.
He was missed badly on all 3 pitches to Miguel Cabrera. 3-0.
Well, he's trying to do that. Obviously, Napoli went out and said, hey, look, let's just see if we can get him to swing at one out of the zone. Keep it out of the zone. And that's all right, even though there's nobody out. Hey, look, sometimes you got to take your chances to the next guy.
3-1. The Angels play him to right center in the outfield and to pull on the infield. Hunter shading that right center, a big gap in left center.
If he's going to try to throw a strike here, just try to keep it down.
He swings and pumps it foul, back and out of play. The count is full, 3-2.
Okay, so now Sando coming back after 3-0. Now he's gaining a little bit of confidence as Thames waits on deck. He's gaining some confidence. Now he's saying, hey, look, I think I can get him out. Sometimes that could be a mistake. Because when you're facing a hot hitter, it carries over from night to day, believe me, and day to day.
Saunders with 5 full counts already. The 70th pitch, he had Polanco about ready to bust towards third base, and Joe stepped off, but they had no play on. If Meiser's covering, they might have been able to pick the man off of second base.
Yeah, but they may have been thinking about going there, so Sando pulled the right time to do that little inside out move.
Polanco second, Ordonez first. The runners do go. A swing and a miss. Throw to third, and they've got to strike him out, throw him out. Double play.
Woo, man, now he didn't give it the conventional way with a ground ball, but he executed a nice sinker on Cabrera, kept it down, and he's only human. Heck, he swung over the top of it, and with Polanco going because Leland sent him, that was an easy out. So that's a big break in the game for Saunders here. Okay, Napoli, well-placed ball. That ball was a good sinker down. Napoli got him by plenty. Polanco even tried a trick slide on him, but not going to happen. So now Mike Butcher comes out after that nice strike him out, throw him out double play. And Butcher's probably telling him, okay, look, Tim's, he's another dangerous guy. Don't let your guard down here. Just execute a sinker just like that last one on Cabrera, and you'll be fine. And Cabrera, he's not happy about it.
Thames walked his first time up. Swings at the first offering from Joe. Strike one. Saunders has been solid. He has allowed the Tigers just a couple of hits. One by Ordonez, one by Polanco, but he's also walked a couple, and he's thrown a lot of pitches already. 71, not yet through 4. And that ball is skied in the air. Center field for Torrey Hunter. Shades his eyes. Makes the catch. Oh, man, that sun was tough on Torrey, but Mike Napoli gets 2 on 1. Lolich in 1968, one of 3 pitchers since 1960 with 3 World Series wins. Who are the other guys? And they are Bob Gibson for the 1967 Cardinals and Randy Johnson, 2001. Here is Edwin Jackson lifting one, or throwing to Eric Ibar, who lifts one to left field, and Ryan Rayburn comes in to make a fine catch. Ibar is out. First out of the 4th inning, but Edwin Jackson made his major league debut on his 20th birthday, September 9th, 2003, and he earned the win over Randy Johnson, the Diamondbacks, that night. He became the 5th major league pitcher to debut on his birthday, and he's the only one to earn the victory. How about that?
I'll say that's impressive.
Edwin Jackson now dealing to Mike Napoli with 1 out, and Mike takes strike 1. Well, they've had some good pitchers through the years. Detroit, a fine organization. Mickey Lolich, he was the star of the '68 World Series, even though that was the year Denny McLain won 31 games.
Wow.
Lolich would outpitch the great Bob Gibson in that World Series, and Detroit would win the '68 series. He won in '84 for Sparky Anderson with a great pitcher by the name of Jack Morris. Oh, what a catch by the fan in that foul ball with his cap. He reached over the railing with his cap and caught the foul ball, and then he almost dropped it over the side. There he is.
Man, that fan is in the game.
He's got a beautiful orange shirt on.
You catch a ball and you're in the crowd, you feel like you're a part of it. It's beautiful.
Napoli swings and misses, and down he goes. So very quickly, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. So the Tigers, Edwin Jackson trying to settle down. He's retired 3 straight since the 2-out base hit by Kenry Morales that made it 3-0 Angels. The way Detroit's playing a 3-0 lead is not safe. They have scored 15 runs in the first 2 games of this series against the Halos, and they came from behind last night to win when they were trailing 3-1. That's why starting pitching will be so key for the Angels down the stretch, and their starting pitching has been rough. They have only 10 quality starts since the All-Star break, and that's 38 games and only 10 quality starts. Matthews takes a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's what he wants. Butchie wants quality starting pitching. Who doesn't? But the game's not that easy. Especially when you put a hitter up there that's looking to make a living for his family as well. That's where the real competition comes out between the boys on the field, between the lines. The ultimate competition. Confrontation between the pitcher and batter. It's a classic.
The 2-2 is taken outside by Gary, and Matthews with another 3-2 count. He walked on a 3-2 count back in the 2nd. Angels had 2 on with Sean Figgins up, and Figgy hit a hard ground ball to the shortstop, Adam Everett, who threw him out to end the Angels' 2nd inning threat. A liner towards left, and that ball is fair into the corner. Gary off to the races, makes it to second base with a double.
Junior, nice little chip shot there. That's for his 14th double. We'll show you from the side course with our outstanding Expo shot. Slow motion, slows it down frame by frame for you to watch that good fundamentals there. He just went with it. Took a slice down the left field line, and by the way he came out of the batter's box, you could tell he knew it was going to land fair. Another 2-out base runner, and the Angels tough to contain in situations like this, especially when you have a premier run producer like Figgy. I didn't think we could ever say that about Sean Figgins. He's a leadoff guy and a premier guy there, but man, he knocks him in.
And he dumps one to left. That will drop. Matthews will score. The Angels go up 4-0. Premier run producer.
That's exactly what he is. His game all around is off the charts. Jim Leland saying, you know what, I knew it was bound to happen. Hard to contain this ball club. They haven't lost 4 straight all year long, and if they do lose today, it would be the first time in all year. Look at that Figgy inside pitch. He just fights it off. He's not trying to overswing here. He stays inside the baseball. That's the key there. Pulled his hands in, and a little bit of a lift. Hey, and it's a doinker, but you know what? It's a line shot in the books tomorrow with his stake attached. Look at that. Nice little spot there on the inside part of the plate, and he flares it in there for a knock.
RBI number 45 for Sean Figgins. The Angels have stolen 3 bases in this game. With 2 out, they might set Sean. Jackson's got to be feeling steamed after back-to-back base hits to left field by left-handed hitters Matthews and Figgins.
But 2-out rallies frustrate the pitcher. Talk to the great Chuck Finley, the winningest pitcher in Angel history with 165 wins yesterday. I said, Finn, what do you like about the '09 Angels? He says, Man, the way they knock in runs with 2 strikes or 2
Figgins
outs.
goes and he'll rip off his second base of the day without a throw. It seemed like Laird had trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and so Sean, 39 stolen bases this year.
All right, Gerald Laird, he can only do his job. When you steal a base, it's usually off the pitcher, most of the time. So you can't blame Laird for that. And if you don't have a good shot, you might as well put it in your pocket.
The Angels 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. They had trouble in the clutch last night, 1 for 10, and they had left 21 runners stranded the first 2 games of this series. Figgins at second base. No play on.
No, but Figgy wanted to rip him off with 2 strikes. And with Bobby Abreu hitting, there's really no need to. Figgy's got him a couple bags today. He's pretty much conceded the stolen base title this year. Ellsbury ripping off his 56th bag last night.
And Carl Crawford right behind him. Bobby Abreu to left field. It stays up for Rayburn. He makes the catch, but a 2-out hit by Sean Figgins scores Matthews, and the Angels go in front 4-0 over Detroit.
Nice piece of 2-out hit.
Saunders taking a shutout into the 5th inning here at the Big A, and kids looking for a unique back-to-school accessory. Then come out to the Big A this Saturday, August 29th, and all kids ages 2 through 18 in attendance will receive a free one-of-a-kind Angels camouflage backpack courtesy of Healthy for Life. Tickets for this game can be purchased at angelsbaseball.com. There's a good look.
There might be some parents out there saying, you know what, I haven't gotten a backpack yet. I might just go out there and catch a ball game and bring one home for free. If it's free, it's for me.
And you'll take 3.
Believe that. That's a major leaguer's motto.
Ryan Rayburn, the batter. Joe Saunders trying to get him. Rayburn sends one to center field and deep, and that ball's off the wall. Hunter gets to it, and Rayburn has himself a leadoff double. First extra base hit by Detroit today.
That's a nice, easy swing, too. Like I said, having a guy like Rayburn that's got 10 homers, but you can fit him in every once in a while and play defense late in games, that's a bonus. And that ball was squared up on the line. Torrey Hunter, whenever he turns around, you know it's over his head. This many years of his skillful center field play has taught him that. 8-time Gold Glove winner.
Saunders now facing Brandon Inge. Joe has now thrown 75 pitches, 18 in the first, 19 in the second, 17 in the third, 18 in the fourth. He would like to have a quick inning so he can work deep into this game. Angels have used their bullpen a lot the last couple of weeks. Inge fouls it back, and the count moves to 1-1. Mike Scioscia said that Joe Saunders would be on a 90 to 95 pitch count. So right now he's moving in that direction, but he'd like to go 6 today. Tony Regans was talking about the team still searching for pitching before the August 31st waiver trade deadline. And Tony simply said, if our starting pitching gets us deeper into games, we can set up our bullpen in a different way. The pen, though, for Mike Scioscia, 48 innings their last 12 games. That's an average of 4 per game. And Tony Regans doing an outstanding job since taking over for Bill Stoneman as the Angels general manager. They won 100 games last year with him. And now with the Western lead by 4 games over the Texas Rangers. John Carpino, vice president of the Angels, with the owner Artie Moreno.
And Dennis Kuhl.
I did not.
Dennis is over there far left. He's Artie's president.
A swing and a miss, and Inge is gone. Picking up the baseball, Mike Napoli, as it was in the dirt. He throws to Morales, and that's strikeout number 5 for Joe.
You know Sando's arm speed is picking up when he's already got 5 punch outs. That's twice now he's gotten Inge. Okay, you know the fact that he's got such a good curveball and changeup, it really helps the hitters. I mean, it helps him against the hitters when he throws that sinker too, and all out of the same arm slot, same arm speed. He's deceptive. He's got very nice pitches, and that's what they were expecting to see. But with that knot in his shoulder, that was keeping him from getting extended out on his front foot, finishing his pitches off. It was leaving him out over the dish, and they were getting whacked.
I beg your pardon, Joe Saunders with 6 strikeouts. He did have that strike him out, throw him out double play in the 4th inning, which really helped. He has had 2 double plays in the game, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. Now he's facing Gerald Laird. Right out to left field his first time up. Laird hit it pretty well, driving Gary Matthews Jr. back to the wall. There's the 6th K is on the board. Of course, by the CPK meter.
That's right. California Pizza Kitchen now a little bit having a hard time finding the hook.
The 1-1 is outside, 2-1. Still struggling. There we go. Now it's working. Not yet. Almost. Got it.
Okay, now Meister Asturis is going in to talk to Joe Saunders, okay, while you guys are messing with the K guy. Okay, I'm watching the field, and Rayburn's getting a big lead. And I think Meister said, look, we can pick him off. So just be alive for that. If you want a quick out, and he keeps getting a lot over there, give me a throw. Okay, he wants to go right to that base and try to get the out there if he possibly can.
Laird fouls it off. Count now evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the Tigers would love to get that man Rayburn to third base with less than 2 out, where a ground ball or fly ball could score him. I told you about Laird's background. First season with the Tigers, after 6 with the Rangers. He grew up in these parts, went to La Quinta High School, then to Cypress Community College, a star at both places. Drafted by the Rangers. And he whacks that one well to left field. Matthews going back at the track, pulls it down. There we got a good break.
And Sando just got in on Laird a little. Couldn't get full extension. And what results is usually a jam shot that carried pretty well. Laird's a strong guy. Actually, looking at that pitch, the location. The ball was out over the plate, and Laird just missed it.
And a happy birthday to Gary, belated. His birthday was yesterday, turned 35. Born in San Francisco. Son of an excellent outfielder, Gary Matthews Sr., named Sarge. Helped the Chicago Cubs to a National League East title years ago. Outdueled the Pittsburgh Pirates. Back in the 80s, and they're trying to get back there again. The Cubs have had some kind of difficulty this year. A lot of people thought they would win the Central this year, but the Cubs now 9 games back of sizzling St. Louis. The Cardinals have won 8 of their last 10, and they now have won 73 ball games. Ball struck to left field pretty well. Back goes Matthews, still going back, and it is gone. A rare home run by Adam Everett, just his third this year, cuts the Angel lead in half.
Okay, Gerald Laird, in his last time up, the previous batter, he missed one that was out over the plate. If he'd have barreled that might have went. But Adam Everett, nice easy swing, hits his third homer, and gets the Tigers on the board. He's left out over the middle. 21st home run given up to a right-handed batter off of Saunders' arm this year. If you leave it out over anywhere in this area here, it's going to get hit, and even 8 and 9 batters can leave the dance hall here in a day game.
4-2 ball game. Detroit coming back on the Angels. They rallied from a 3-1 deficit last night to win. Curtis Granderson hits it sharply. Morales has it and records the final out, but one batter too late. Number 9 hitter Adam Everett takes Saunders deep. 4-2 Halos. Angels may go to a right-handed reliever. I noticed that Jason Bolger has been warming up in the Halo pen. Edwin Jackson back to work at facing Torrey Hunter.
If he is done, then Sando, he did a great job. I like the way he came back, bounced back, looked confident from the very first pitch he threw. Strike one to Granderson. Bolger loosening. Jackson, 2 good sliders. He's not going to give Torrey a cookie. His team worked hard to get those 2 runs back for him and get him back in the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Hunter with a home run and a walk. 2-run shot over the left center field wall. Number 18 this year, back in the first. And there is a base hit up the middle. Man, he has been hot coming off the DL, as that's now 14 hits in his 32 at-bats since coming off the DL.
Last half inning, we'll show you a couple Angel batters going the other way. Now, Matthews Jr., that ball was out over the middle of the plate, so he just waited and he put a nice swing on it. Now, Figgy, watch how Figgy pulled his hands in. This ball was on the inner half of the plate. So in order to go to the opposite field, you got to pull those hands in, and he doinked it right over Inge's head. That put a little bit of it messed up Jackson. Jackson got a little hot. He wasn't happy about that, but that's the way the game goes. What you call that is a doinker.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Kept the Angels alive and got them their 4th run.
Now Vlad Guerrero wants to keep it off the ground. He's done that twice and recorded an out in the first inning and almost killed a rally in the third inning, hitting into a 5-4-3 double play. But Henry Morales picked him up by singling to center field and driving in the Angels' third run. Hunter dives back to the bag, and Jackson showing very quick feet. He's had a couple of close plays. The Angels have stolen 4 bases off this combination of Jackson and Laird. It's the most steals that Laird has ever allowed in his career. And Edwin goes that way again.
Torrey, he likes to get that jump about a couple split seconds before the pitcher even throws the ball. So he gets another step or two usually, but with Jackson's quick feet and that hard throw over to first base, that might keep him a little closer.
Vladdy takes inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
You don't necessarily have to steal a base. It's because you have the speed to and the ability to. But just being over there alone is a big enough threat. That's enough to get the hitter some fastballs. And Vladdy, if you throw him a fastball where he likes it, he can put 2 more on the board quickly.
Tries to dump that one into center field, and it will drop. Hunter has to stop at second base. He wasn't sure if Granderson would get to the baseball. He did not, and the Angels have 2 on with nobody out to start the bottom of the 5th.
How about Big Daddy Vladdy? That's his 1,000th hit as an Angel. Way to go.
8th already on the all-time list.
Fantastic, Vladdy. Congratulations. We hope that it works out in the offseason, that you can stay with the Halos and continue to excel as a DH, and hopefully someday wear that Angels cap into the Hall, as there has not ever been one in there.
You combine his days with Montreal and the Angels, that's 2,215. And Morales came through with 2 out last time up, and the Angels would love to see a big hit by Morales.
All right, whenever a big guy like this takes a big swing, you're going to take a couple steps back. Granderson had no chance to catch this doinker. Okay, because you're going to step back, especially on a day game, and Vladdy got jammed a little bit for his 1,000th knock as a Halo.
Morales takes a rip, tried to hit a 3-run home run, and he hit one hard his first time up. Granderson made a nice running catch in right center field, and then that single we talked about with 2 out to plate Bobby Abreu in the 3rd.
Now, the Angels have had plenty of Hall of Famers play for them, but never long enough worthy of them wearing an Angel cap in. So no one has a cap in the Hall of Fame yet. They've had Don Sutton, they've had Nolan Ryan here, heck, Eddie Murray, Dave Winfield. All those Hall of Famers were Angels at one time, but none long enough to wear the cap into the Hall.
Well, tomorrow night, lefty Chuck Finley and outfielder Brian Downing will be inducted into the Angels Hall of Fame. Vladdy likely will go into the Angels Hall of Fame. First year with the club, won the MVP, and a swing and a miss, and Morales really looked bad on that at bat against Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, you got to credit that. Nice little changeup. Okay, Edwin, primarily fastball slider guy, but he will go to a changeup and a curveball when he has to. And that's the pitch you want to pull out on a premium hitter like Morales.
The Angels need a clutch hit to get the momentum back after Everett hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. They got their first 2 guys on. Hunter and Vlad Guerrero with singles. Meiser is terse and very strong in the clutch throughout his career. Takes low and in, ball 1.
Up with a level stroke from both sides of the plate is Sturris. He swings the bat like a big man. 5'7", 175 pounds. He can produce runs.
Chops it at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson gave up a 2-run home run to Hunter in the 1st. A single by Morales that drove it a run in the 3rd, and a 2-out base hit by Sean Figgins in the 4th to make it 4-0. Everett hit his home run to left field to make it 4-2 in the 5th. Meiser hits it high and deep. Maglio's going back at the wall, reaches up and pulls it down. Hunter tags and goes to 3rd. Vlad Guerrero back to first base.
Okay, Meiser almost was mighty there. He's mighty all the time, though, if you ask some people around here. He's warmed the hearts of a ton of Angel fans with his great play. But he does have a career-high 7 home runs this year. He was looking for number 8 there, but just didn't quite get enough of it. But Torrey Hunter tagged at second base. Vladdy went all the way to second in case Maglio dropped it, which was proper. And now with 2 outs, they're looking for another 2-out knock.
Eric Ibar 1 for 2. Single to left field, his first time up. Way outside, ball 1. Jackson has thrown 93 pitches, trying to make it through 5. He's been really tough with runners on this year. Opponents only batting 173 with runners in scoring position against Jackson this year coming into this ball game. But the Angels were 3 for their first 5 with runners in scoring position. And that is rope foul. So a 1-1 count Jackson has with Ibar.
Quality starters have a way of making quality pitches when runners are on. You see it all the time.
The Angels could really get into his mind with another 2-out base hit. The last 2 RBIs have been with 2 outs. Hunter at third, Guerrero at first. Outside, barely 2-1. Edwin's still been in the mid-90s. We have not seen him bring the gas like he showed in that start in Detroit against the Angels back on June 6th, where even late 8th, 9th inning, he was upper 90s. Vlad Guerrero, who was only a couple of steps from the bag, had to dive back in. I don't think the Angels are going to even allow Guerrero. They've got a guy at the plate, Eric Ibar, who's batting .313. That rolls away, and Vladdy is going, and Laird fakes the throw. Now the throw to third, and they've got Hunter picked off.
What a nice fake by Gerald Laird. That's what got Torrey Hunter. Hey, Vladdy went ahead and tried to advance on the ball in the dirt, but Laird, he acted like he was going to throw Vladdy out. And Torrey says, I'm coming home if you do that. Watch Torrey. He says, all right, if he throws it, I'm going. Nice fake. And he's toast. Burnt toast. Cool, calm, and fresh as Coors Light is. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Cold and frost brewed like you like it.
Are you accusing Eric Ibar of being a pirate?
He could be with that name, Ibar. Eric Ibar.
You are a piece of work. Jason Bolger coming out of the Angels bullpen. Righty-righty situation with Polanco, Ordonez, and Cabrera coming up. He's Jackson really needs to knuckle down here and throw strikes. He gets one across. He is tough to hit. Only 38 hits allowed in 55 innings this year, but he's also walked 27, has won 6 games this year. Right now just trying to hold it for his buddy Joe Saunders.
Quality arm. Scioscia's got down there. Now he's a little bit younger, but he's got gained a lot of experience this year. Good hard fastball, mid-90s. He'll go with a nice curveball as his swing and miss pitch. He'll throw occasional changeups.
2 balls and 1 strike. Polanco has fly to center field and singled. Stole a base, also caught stealing when the Angels had to strike him out, throw him out, double play with Cabrera at the plate. That ended a threat in the 4th. A pop-up, left center. Matthews says he has it. He does, and that's the first out of the 6th inning. Angels had Saunders go 5, coming back from the disabled list. Like Scioscia said, between 90 and 95 pitches, he would have his left-hander go after not throwing in 19 days. The Angels have the lead 4-2. Joe was terrific through 4 and then made a mistake to the number 9 batter, Adam Everett, who hit a 2-run home run to cut the lead in half. Breaking ball misses outside to Ordonez, who has singled and walked. Maglio had a slow start, but picking things up recently. The last couple of weeks batting over .330, and he muscles that one foul.
Mike Scioscia likes power arms. Most managers do, because you can get away with a lot more over the middle. Especially relievers that come in late. He wants strikeouts. He likes the guys that throw hard. He calls them scuds.
The Angels have 2 from that right side, and Bolger and Jepson. Maglio pops it up on the infield. Morales shading his eyes. Takes care of it for out number 2. The important thing there, not only 2 outs, but nobody on in front of Miguel Cabrera.
You know, Angel fans, don't forget 8th inning specialist Scott Shields. The Angels have had the luxury of having him for a long time, especially since the '02 World Series. The Angels found out this year how really badly they miss him. He's been out. He had a little knee surgery. He's recovering well. Should be ready to go next year. And they've had a fit trying to find a reliable 8th inning guy, and they're finally starting to settle a little bit. Kevin Jepson has kind of taken that ball and taken that responsibility. Scioscia has confidence in him, and that will be his guy. But still, there's a long way to go before they get there.
They were looking and still continue to look before the August 31st first waiver deadline for pitching, because this really has been a season out of character. From 2006 through 2008, the Angels average a team ERA of 4.09 to rank 3rd in the American League and 5th in all of baseball. The bullpen ERA has been outstanding through the years until 2009, but because of the injuries to Shields, to Escobar, to Mosley, and others, it has been a tough chore for Mike Butcher, and yet the team is in first place. Player to right center field. That's going to be a gapper, and it hits off the wall. Played nicely by Bobby Abreu. Here's his throw to second base, but Cabrera's in time with a double.
Well, I might tell you that was a little better than a flare, Fizz. It looked like it because his hands are so good, but he just flicked his hands out there, and it looked like it was going to flare, but it one hopped the wall. He had a little lot behind that gapper, but better with nobody on facing this guy for that reason right there. He makes it look easy. It's very smooth with his hands, and Ibar looked like he tagged him before he got to the base on the shoulder. Nice tag, and they call that a sweep tag.
Cabrera now with an 11-game hit streak. Marcus Thames the batter.
It looked like he was out just barely. But you can't argue with Mark Carlson because he's standing right there. Look at it. Look at it. He's got a great view of the play. Okay, so there it is. He looks like he got him right on the shoulder before he got there and missed it.
Bolger facing another right-hander, and Marcus Thames, who has walked and popped up. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Hey, we have the luxury of several different replays, and this one here we found it. See, with the gloves on his shoulder, he still hadn't gotten to the base yet. And usually the infielder will know when he got it, but Ivar didn't have an argument.
A chopper to third. Figgins has to make a long throw, and it is offline. Infield hit for Timms. And now first and third for the Detroit Tigers here in the 6th inning with 2 out.
Yeah, well, Sean Figgins knew he didn't have much time at all. Timms, he runs well for a big man. And usually you see Sean load up his lower half and get really something on the throw. But watch him. He kind of just throws this a flat-footed here because he had to get rid of it. Throws just up the line a little bit, but watch how Sean Figgins loads up on Expo. Gets across the seam, so the ball's going to stay straight. Comes up on top and just couldn't get Timms, who took a little bit off that swing and got a little infield knock.
So a gapper to right for a double. Now an infield hit. Tying runs are on for Detroit. Bolger needs to get young Ryan Rayburn. And Rayburn takes a first pitch for strike 1. He went with the breaking ball early in this at bat. Rayburn got a fastball first pitch from Joe Saunders in the 5th inning, and hit it off the wall for a double. He was on base 2 outs later when Everett hit the home run to tie to make it a 4-2 game. Swings and misses at another breaking ball, so Bolger has him down 0-2. Would you stay with the hook?
Might as well. Don't want to give him anything too good, that's for sure. So we want to jam him here or try to get him swing and miss on a pitch up. Either one of those is good, but just want to stay out of the middle, as Rayburn's going to try to shorten up his swing. With a runner at third base, all he needs is a lousy single. And we'll see what Napoli puts down. He looks like he's going to go with a curve. More fingers usually tells you that.
Just high. Rayburn hitting .370 his last 23 games. 1 for 2 today.
Napoli always looks in to Mike Scioscia with runners on. He's not looking for a sign to call, as most managers don't call the pitches. They just call the running game. So another breaking ball coming.
Rayburn swings and misses, and Bolger does a nice job getting out of 6th inning trouble. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Angels 4, Tigers 2.
Nice hammer.
AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. On a warm Wednesday afternoon, Eric Ibar makes the first out of the bottom half of the 6th inning, and so one down with nobody on. Mike Napoli's the batter. Ibar flying out to left field for the first out. Mike Napoli has struck out twice against Edwin Jackson. Angels have 4 runs on 7 hits. The Tigers have 2 on 6. Strike in there, and it's 0-1 to Mike. Angels with 4 steals in the game. They have 2 hits with 2 outs to drive in runs, and right now that's the difference in the game. We have 2 home runs in the game, one by Torrey Hunter, a 2-run shot, the other by Adam Everett, a 2-run shot. The Angels with 2 clutch hits by Morales and Figgins in the 3rd and 4th inning to make it a 4-2 ball game. Jose Arredondo down in that Angels bullpen.
100th pitch just thrown by Jackson. Jim Leland, he's got a little action up in his pen as well.
That will not only get back to the screen, that will jump over the screen. Nee and Perry in that bullpen, and Nee the left-hander and Perry the right-hander. The 2-2, and Mike swings and fouls it off of Gerald Laird, kind of clipped off his right throwing hand. Edwin Jackson came in with a record of 10-5, a 2.86 ERA, a makeshift fan. That's the bottom of the cup holders. It's a hot afternoon. A lot of fans escaping to the shade underneath at club level. The 2-2 pitch, and Napoli swings and fouls it straight back into the upper deck. Napoli's one of those streaky players that if he hits a hot streak, man, he can really drive that baseball and carry this club. The 2-2 is in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And there's the curveball. We haven't seen a lot of them. Fizz, high chopper over the infield. There it is. Just in a different form.
You know what? I'm letting it go up the middle. I'm not going after that one.
I don't think so. But how about the Exmo on those blades?
On the 8th pitch, Napoli hits a ground ball to Adam Everett. Quick toss. Got him. 2 outs. Angels looking for their 75th win and trying to extend their lead to 4.5 games over the Texas Rangers. The Rangers go later tonight. That will be Derek Holland, 7-7 at Yankee Stadium against the veteran Andy Pettitte, who is 10-6. Yankees are playing great baseball, but they lost to the Rangers last night 10-9. It was a heck of a ball game as rookie shortstop Elvis Andrus turned Melky Cabrera's liner into a game-ending double play. And the Rangers held off the Yanks 10-9. First pitch strike thrown to Matthews. Gary has walked and doubled on twice. One other game around the major leagues, and that's a final. Cleveland beat Kansas City 4-2. So the Tribe gets a victory. Everybody else under the lights. And there'll be some good ones like the Chicago White Sox at Boston. Ground ball, second base. So Jackson pitching well, goes 6 innings for Jim Leland, but right now trails 4-2 as we head to the 7th inning here in Anaheim. Angels baseball is brought to you by Verizon, America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family. Back at the Big A, the Angels have a 4-2 lead. Jose Arredondo coming out of the bullpen, trying to bridge the gap before Kevin Jepsen in the 8th inning. On for the 7th. On Monday's game, did not pitch well, gave up 4 earned runs, and Arredondo coming out of that bullpen and giving up a big fly to Carlos Guillen. He has allowed 4 home runs in 7 outings since his recall on August 6th, but the Angels, until their starters pitch deeper into the game, the Angels are going to ask a lot from their bullpen. Now, they'll likely be calling up some members in about 5 days when you can expand the rosters on September 1st. But until that time, a lot of work. And with the offense can't be scoring 7 runs a game like they had for such a long stretch for Mike Scioscia when they were winning so many games. So they're going to have to put away opponents by 1, 2, 3 runs. And they lead by 2 today, 4-2 with Brandon Inge up. And Arredondo is a 1-2 count. Inge has struck out twice, both times against Joe Saunders. Swing and a miss, and Brandon is struck out for the 3rd time today. Hey fans, the Angels are helping you wind down your summer with an exciting ticket offer during this week's homestand. Still available for select games. Fans can purchase view level seats for just $5 and right field pavilion seats as low as $10 when using the password SUMMER at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. It's summer in the city.
Yep, any way you can stay cool is the right way here.
We love this weather in Southern California. Although the road trip wasn't that bad in Baltimore and Cleveland and Toronto, and it can be brutal with the humidity. They had some storms that kind of cleaned out the humidity, and the Angels were able to win 6 of the 10 games. Now that's the way to get it done. You wear your Sunday's best hat.
It's all good. It's the Big A, voted by ESPN the magazine as the best venue in all of sports for entertainment value.
Laird with the pop-up, and Kendry Morales with a nice play down the line. He wanted to make sure where he was as he was getting close to the sweet seats down the right field line, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
Yep, not as easy as it looks. Got to battle the sun and the drifting ball. But you look down once or twice, know where you are near the rail, or excuse me, by the padding there, and help out Arredondo, who's got a good sinking fastball, split finger. Occasional sliders. Those sunglasses are a real relief for eyes of ball players during the day. You don't have to squint as much, therefore you don't expend as much energy. Therefore, advantage goes to the modern day player. He gets to wear those every day.
Adam Everett putting on a show. He is 2 for 3 today. His 2-run home run cut the lead in half, and now he lines a single to left field.
Detroit Tigers are a very good team when they pitch and defend. Today, the Angels are trying to out-slug them. Scioscia's going to go to the pen. He's not going to mess around.
Arredondo was able to get the first 2 out, so he's going to ask a 4-out hold likely for Kevin Jepsen. Kevin Jepsen only has an ERA of 1 in his last 7 games. The Angels won all 7 games. He has a 1.88 ERA with 8 holds in 8 chances since July 1st. So he has been the bridge right now in the 8th inning to Brian Fuentes.
Yep, and he hasn't been used the last few games in the series, so he's well rested, and he's got a nice, hard, firm fastball. Mike Scioscia calls it a scud, and anything over mid-90s is a scud, that's for sure. And that is a good, straight, hard fastball. Now, he's got an overhand curve, and then recently, over the last several weeks, Mike Butcher has helped him develop a nice cutter slider combination. He calls it a clider. Kind of like, you know, you say slurve for a slurvy curveball slider type of thing. Well, a cutter and slider is a clider, he calls it. It's a pretty good pitch. It moves into the lefty.
Everett at first base with 2 out. The batter is Curtis Granderson. Jepsen has only allowed 2 home runs this year in 35 2/3, and this is a guy who can go deep. Granderson 0 for 3 today, but has 25 home runs and 57 RBIs. One of baseball's most powerful leadoff men. And that is low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Granderson, it's the first time I've seen him this year with a mouthpiece in. He's got a mouthpiece, and he does that so he doesn't clench his teeth and grind his teeth away. On contact, your hands tighten up automatically as a hitter when you throw your hands to the ball, and your jaw, it clenches down too, and you grind your teeth. So he might as well, you know, his dentist makes him happy that he has that mouthpiece that doesn't hurt his teeth any.
Granderson fights it off on his hand, so now Jepsen has a count his way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kevin is a strikeout pitcher with 30 and 35 2/3. A lot of those coming in the last 2 months. Started the season with a back problem. The Angels placed him on the DL and sent him down to the minors, not only to get the back healthy, but his stuff as well. The 1-2, just barely low. Granderson.
Napper's getting a little workout, Fizz. You see him how he blocked that ball?
Yep. Everett with a 2-out base hit at first base. And Kevin throws over. Everett 5 for 7 stealing bases this year. Does not go. Way outside. 3-2. Kevin does not want to allow Granderson to reach. Then the tying runs are on. Polanco, it was more of an extra base hit. Singles guy is waiting on deck. We've got the thumpers to follow in Ordonez and Cabrera. A ground ball up the middle. As Torres has it, his throw in time. Nice job by Kevin Jepsen to get Granderson and end the 7th. After Detroit has bested the Halos 10-7 and 5-3 in games 1 and 2. Edwin Jackson will stay in the game, and Mickey Hatcher and Gary Matthews Jr. discussing that, as Jackson has thrown 108 pitches in opening the bottom of the 7th to face Figgins, Abreu, and Hunter.
Excellent ball game here. Low scoring for a day game, but that tells you there's been really good pitching, as they're keeping the ball in the yard for the most part.
Saunders' first start in 19 days, coming off the DL where he had left shoulder problems. He really looked good through 4 innings of shutout baseball, and then gave up a 2-run home run to Adam Everett, the second to final batter he would face today. Figgins has been on twice with a walk and a single. Barely foul as he hooked it down the line.
Guarantee you Sean Figgins was talking to that ball.
Got it over the head of Cabrera, who's playing no doubles real late in the game, and the Angels leading by 2. Jackson has struck out 3. A little bit low.
You saw Figgy inside out him earlier for an RBI single.
Well, he sends this one over Cabrera's head down the line, and Figgins races to second base. He will make it with a leadoff double.
25th double on the season for Figgy. We saw him joint Jackson to left field, and now he pulled him down the right field line for a nice little single. See the slow motion Exmo. Sean Figgins kept his hands inside the ball nicely, and he kept a fairly level swing, a little bit of a loop, but he squared the ball up perfectly on the bat, which is hard to do. Hit a round ball with a round bat squarely. How do you figure?
That's the 7th base hit for Sean Figgins in this series. And now Bobby Abreu, very smart hitter, will at least try and get Figgins to third base. He'd love to pull it through that right side and get Figgins home and give the Angels a 3-run lead. Jackson may work him away. He does, and misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby's popped up, walked, scored a run, and flied out. 0 for 2. He takes the rip and pulls it to the right side. Quality at bat that gets Figgins to third. Now a ground ball or fly ball can give the Angels a 3-run lead.
Great situational hitter, and you got to be if you're a number 2 batter in any big league lineup. You got to, every time you come to the plate, there's a situation. That particular one, nobody out, runner at second, pull him over. That's an effective out, and Leland, I think, has seen enough from Jackson tonight or this afternoon.
He had Knee and also Perry warming in the bullpen. I would imagine it's going to be Perry, the right-hander, with Hunter and Guerrero coming up, and that's who it will see. Ryan Perry. After the break, the Angels lead it 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th.
How about this guy? Long-time manager. 45 years in professional baseball. 14 years he managed in the National League for the Pirates and the Florida Marlins and the Rockies 1 year. 4th year now with Detroit. I asked him before the game, hey, Jim, is it harder to manage in the National League or the American League? And he says, people think it's the National League, but it's not. It's the American League. Because in the National League, when the pitcher's not going good, it's easy. You replace him with a pinch hitter. Everybody knows that. In the American League, you got to manage the bullpen, and to know when to take that guy out, that sometimes will give me headaches. AL all the way, it's tough.
Wow. There is Torrey Hunter to lead things off. Ryan Perry can really bring the heat. He will reach the mid-90s. The Angels will see Detroit bring their infield in with Inge at third, Everett at short, Polanco at second, and Cabrera at first. The Angels desperately trying to get that 3-run lead back. Figgins, great speed at third base.
So Leland got to bring those infielders in. You can't afford to give the Halos any more runs here. Torrey Hunter finally checked in.
They want Perry to get the strikeout, and he has been a strikeout pitcher this year, averaging 1 per inning, 44 strikeouts in 44 innings. Hunter, though, has been perfect. A single, a home run, a walk today. He swings and misses, and down he goes, and that is out number 2.
Yep, he's got an above-average fastball, live arm, free and easy motion. Does Ryan Perry. Creates a pretty good arm angle right there, and he's bearing down. Sean Figgins, he tried to steal home. But he's saying
time had been called.
Yeah, he's a third base umpire, Delphine Colon, is saying the time was called, but Figgy didn't think so, so he went ahead and just scampered on home. And sometimes, you take a chance, and sometimes you don't really know if time is called or what goes on. But that's an advantage to Figgy being alive, looking to get that run home any way he possibly can.
And Colon is the young umpire who's called up from the minor leagues to replace Tim Welke, who was hit at a face mask and had to leave this umpiring crew.
So they made a call to the minor leagues, a lot like a team would do if they lost a player. Now watch Figgy. Okay, they're just walking around out there. Figgy says the third baseman Inge is off. I'm going home now. Look at the pitcher's back, the catcher's. Yeah, I'm going. Okay, but time was called. Up at the very top left, Delphine Colon, he had his arms in the air, and that we have as evidence for Mike Scioscia, who's really pleading a pretty good case here. What he thinks is, but what we saw, everybody had their arms up, time was called.
Well, I saw just Jim Wolf with his arms up. And Mike Scioscia has to have Sean Figgins go back.
Okay, watch the third base umpire over there. See his hand right now? He's got his hand up in the air. Both of them are up in the air. See him? Right there, Delphine Colon's hands are in the air.
And then as soon as he did that, you could see home plate umpire Jim Wolf recognize his umpiring mate, and he raised his hands. Time call. Vlad Guerrero needs to come through with a big 2-out base hit here in this 7th.
Okay, an umpire is not going to call time on his own. Brandon Inge, the third baseman, before he started into the pitcher's mound, he looked over and he said, hey, Delphine, can you give me time? And Inge is going, Figgy, man, you're trying to get me in trouble. Man, don't be doing that.
Guerrero chases a bad ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fastball, slider are Ryan Perry's offerings, and they're above average. Both of them. He's athletic, bounces off the mound, feels his position well.
Young man with a tremendous arm out of the University of Arizona. Was in the bullpen last year in rookie ball, but only was in 14 games. So he went from rookie ball last year all the way to the major leagues this year.
Okay, you're going to get a whole dose of his fastballs, though. About 95% of the time.
He does have that easy gas. The ball just explodes out of his hand. He struck out Hunter on just 3 pitches, but now it's falling behind Vladimir Guerrero.
His plan is to keep that ball on the outer half. As Kenny Morales waits patiently on deck.
And I don't think Perry's going to pitch to Morales. I think Leland's going to come out and bring on the left-hander. He had the left-hander Futeni, Taiwanese left-hander, warming up, and here comes Jim. I'm sure they'll want to turn around Henry Morales, who has much better numbers from the left side of the plate than from the right side. The Angels with a 4-2 lead. They have Sean Figgins at third base, Vlad Guerrero at first base. Jim Leland has not made the move yet, and he has his entire infield out there.
Hey, Leland, see, he also has picked up about covering his mouth. See, he doesn't want anybody to read his lips. He's kind of keeping his hands close to his mouth, and he's really got a sermon going here.
Well, he's leaving Perry out there. Knee was warming up, then sat down. So it's up to the right-hander Perry, with now Morales hitting from his more favorable side. He's hitting .311 from the left side, .270 from the right, but more importantly, 24 of his 27 home runs this year have come from this side of the plate. Well, Guerrero at first, Figgins at third.
When you average a strikeout an inning, your manager's going to have some confidence in you with 2 outs and try to blow away a power hitter.
Strike one. Morales today is flied out to deep right center field. He has singled a drive in his 85th run of the year and struck out swinging against Edwin Jackson, who threw him a tremendous changeup down and away from him. Tried to jam him inside. They appealed, did not go. Count is 1-1.
You know, down there with the umpires before the game, I got to go in, and I got to see the new guy, Delphine Colon. Delphine Colon, he's a big guy. Delphine's the first base umpire in today's game, but he's new.
Morales pulls it to Cabrera. The threat is turned back. The Angels will take a 4-2 lead to the 8th inning. Great job by young Ryan Perry. Big A and fans, Angels baseball wants to give you a chance to sit in the Chevy suite seats located on the field next to third base, and a chance to win the all-new Chevy Camaro. So just text Camaro to 31826 or go to angelsbaseball.com/Camaro for details and official rules, and standard text rates do apply. Chevy, the official ride of Angels baseball. Jepson stays in the ball game to pitch the 8th. He has to face the heart of the order. That means Polanco, Ordonez, and Cabrera. First pitch, ball 1. Polanco, more of a singles guy, a get-on-base guy for the power of Ordonez and Cabrera.
Yep, and they're hopeful they don't see these guys again in the 9th inning. Now, it's possible that these two teams could match up in October if things stay they were today. Now, I don't know exactly. I haven't checked the wild card standings lately, but if the wild card is the Rangers by chance, and Detroit ends up winning the Central, the Angels and Detroit would square off in round one.
Boston has a 1.5 game lead over Texas and a 3-game edge on Tampa Bay in the wild card chase. The New York Yankees leading the East by 6 games over Boston. Detroit by 4.5 over Chicago and Minnesota. The Angels by 4 over Texas. The 2-1, and Polanco swings and skies it in the air to Bobby Abreu, shielding his eyes. He makes the catch with 2 hands, and that's out number 1.
Hey, look, we'd like to know how old you are, but thank you so much for your sign and also your attendance here at the Big A. But how old are you? Couldn't tell by looking. You look very young and beautiful like most fans here.
We've got 36,329 today.
Happy birthday.
Here's an important batter to keep off base in front of Miguel Cabrera. Magli Ordonez, who has singled and walked today and also popped up to first. Angels have done a good job of keeping guys off before Cabrera, but here's a line drive, and the Angels had Ordonez played perfectly defensively. Ron Renicky, the Angels defensive outfield coach, had Hunter shading right center, and Ordonez hit it exactly where Hunter was.
Oh, he's a very smart baseball man, well mentored by Scioscia. Okay, he's done the third base coaching job. Now he's the bench coach. He got a lot of experience, and you wonder if who's going to be the next Angel coach to accept a managerial position, because 2 have already been plucked from Scioscia in 10 years, Joe Madden and Buddy Black, and both having success as managers. Renicky could be next, because he's stepping up on that top now. He's waving to the outfielders. You'd think he was signaling air traffic control the way he's moving his arms.
And they're playing Cabrera to right center as well. And the last time up, Cabrera hit a shot into the right center gap for a 2-base hit. The good news was nobody was on base, and he was left stranded when Ryan Rayburn, a batter later, struck out.
Okay, obviously, they're pushing Torrey Hunter to the opposite field and deep, because he really has a good eye, and he's also patient, and he waits till the ball gets deep to the catcher's glove.
Wow, Jepson threw that right by him at 96.
That's why Scioscia likes guys in the back of his pen that can throw hard, blow it by you.
He's really looked good. He's faced 3, retired all 3, got Granderson to end the 7th inning with a man on. Now Polanco and Ordonez to open the 8th inning.
Talked to Bobby Abreu about Ordonez today, his fellow countryman.
Fouled back our way.
And I said, hey, Bobby, what do you think about a kid 26 years old, already has 202 career home runs? He looked at me and his eyes rolled, and he looked up and he says, man, I don't know how he does it, but he's a Hall of Famer if he stays healthy, and most likely he'll catch the big cat, Andres Galarraga, as the most home runs for a Venezuelan born player. Cat's at 399.
How about Jepson, though, in the 8th inning, 1-2-3 over the teeth of the Tigers' order. You know what? That has water in it, and you can also get that mist and really cool off at the Big A.
Folks aren't leaving because they want to see the Angels through this one.
Angels looking for win number 75. They have the second most wins in the American League. The New York Yankees have 78. Then the Angels with 74. Boston has 72. Meiser is Turris the batter, and he takes high from Ryan Perry. Perry was able to erase two Angels in that last inning. He struck out Torrey Hunter, walked Vlad Guerrero, but got Kendry Morales on a ground ball to first base.
Man, I'll tell you, Kevin Jepson, whoo, man, did he look good. He goes out there and has his stuff, and he's on and throwing strikes. That's what he gets. Nothing from the offense. He blew it by him. And they've been able to get through Miguel Cabrera today with just one measly double.
He was pitching in pain to start the season in April. Joe Saunders, we saw fight through pain for much of the season. Finally, the Angels put him on the DL. And he pitched well today, coming off the DL, giving up 2 runs in 5 innings. And Meiser's Turris gets the walk. Hey, if you're traveling and can't watch your Halos on Fox Sports West or KCOP, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.TV. This is the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit angelsbaseball.com, where baseball is always on. Eric Ibar, the batter, and he gets the bunt down, and it stays fair, and the sacrifice is executed perfectly as Turris moves to second base. How about the English on that ball?
Yep. Nice touch. Couldn't have rolled it any better. Brian Fuentes is out in the Angel bullpen. He's loosening up. Come into the game. Hopefully close this out for the Halos. Now, with that sacrifice bunt that was perfectly executed, gives Ibar 10 sacrifice bunts on the year. That's amongst the league leaders. It's a lot of love, high fives for a productive out, and the Angels could use a little extra insurance.
As a matter of fact, it ties him with Adam Everett and another American leaguer for most in the American League. 10 sacrifice bunts. Mike Napoli, the batter, he's had a rough day, and there goes his Turris. The throw to third is not in time. A steal by his Turris, and the Angels have ripped off 5 bags today against Gerald Laird.
Gerald Laird is probably saying, you know what, I got a few guys in his first 2 games of the series, but today they're getting the best of me. Late break, with any kind of good throw, they would have had him. But Inge did a good job of just protecting a run there. Exmo's going to show you that slide. As Turris sliding to the extreme outside of third base. Inge with no tag as the throw pulled him off the bag. Infield in.
Napoli takes low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, a walk, a sacrifice, a stolen base. Napoli 0 for 3 with a couple of Ks and a ground out. 5 stolen bases, ties a season high this year for the Angels. They're second to Tampa Bay in stealing bases. The Angels so disruptive. They go first to third on singles more than any other team. They have more bunt base hits than any team in the American League. So they're constantly being a distraction to the defense. And now the defense is in. Fly ball, ground ball, can score Meiser. And they're kind of working around Mike Napoli. I wonder if they'll try and set up a double play so the Keystone can move back. Gary Matthews Jr. has had a good game with a walk and a double. He's a good fastball hitter, and that guy brings a good fastball. Mike swings, and man, he hits it a ton, but well foul. Patience, young Jedi warrior.
Yep, he wants to stay in the large part of the field. The infield drawn in. One of the many hitting coaches I had, and probably the best. Great Hall of Famer Rod Carew used to teach us when he was here as a hitting coach of the Angels, stay in the middle.
Popped up, right side, Cabrera over. Does he have room? Yes, he does, and makes the catch. And the Angels cannot come through. That's the second straight inning the Angels have had a runner at third base with less than 2 outs. And in the last inning, Hunter struck out. And now Mike Napoli pops up. So Napoli 0 for 4. The Angels still leading by a pair. Now they need Matthews to come through with 2 outs against Ryan Perry. 2 of the Angels' 4 RBIs today have come with 2 out. Morales base hit in the 3rd inning, and Sean Figgins' clutch 2-out base hit scored Gary Matthews in the 4th. Gary celebrated his 35th birthday yesterday. How about celebrating a day later by knocking in a run? In there, strike 1. They go soft early to Gary. When Detroit comes to the plate in the top of the 9th inning, they'll have Thames, Rayburn, and Inge. 3 right-handers. Oh, and 2.
Yeah, just blew that one by him.
Halos have been in a bit of a funk. They've lost 5 of their last 6, and 3 straight, matching their longest losing streak since June 20th to the 22nd. Gary swings and misses and strikes out on 3 pitches against Perry, and the 8th inning is over. The Angels still lead it 4-2. We head to the 9th. Big A, you see that scoreboard showing how the Angels got a 2-run home run from Torrey Hunter in the 1st inning. Then they scored single runs with 2 out in the 3rd and the 4th. Detroit got a 2-run home run by Adam Everett in the 5th inning, and that has been it. Brian Fuentes, who has not pitched in 8 days since August 18th at Baltimore, he comes in, and his job to get 3 tough right-handers out with power: Marcus Thames, Ryan Rayburn, and Brandon Inge.
Looking for that 36th save. He's already at his career high at 35. But, you know, Fuentes, 91-mile-an-hour fastball, not overpowering. He's got a nice little slider and a changeup that he'll show for effect, but he's very deceptive, and that's a pretty good job. He's blown 5 saves, but he hadn't pitched in 8 days. That's good. Rest him up a little bit. However, he throws every day. He's a guy who has to keep his rhythm going by throwing every day, and he'll get on that slab and he'll throw like in a game. So he stays sharp.
Thames is 1 for 2 with a walk. He's always been in there against left-handed pitchers. He started against Joe Saunders today and got a walk. Also had a base hit in the 6th inning off of Jason Bolger in infield. In there, strike 2. So Marcus is down 2 strikes to Brian Fuentes. Just 1 save behind Mariano Rivera for the American League lead. Rivera of the Yankees has 36. Fuentes with 35. Doesn't bite. 1-2.
That's the pitch there when he gets ahead just like this that he relies on a swing and miss on. It's deceptive. Kind of comes out of a little shot put, short arm, almost side arm, about 3/4. A little hesitation.
Broken bat, pop up, right side is Turris. One big out.
Basically, after he throws you that little slider or his changeup, then he comes in, and even at 90 miles an hour, he can break your lumber. Sneaky quick.
Two guys who hadn't pitched in a while. You talk about Fuentes in 8 games, and Joe Saunders, coming off the DL, had not pitched in 19. And Saunders has a chance to win his 10th game. He gave up 2 runs in 5 innings, looked good, threw 89 pitches, and Mike said he'd send him about 90 to 95, and he went 89. Ryan Rayburn has grounded into a double play, doubled and struck out. First pitch, strike 1. Ryan looks good early.
So when you think, Fuentes is not overpowering, he's going to try to get that first pitch strike over with a fastball like he did on Tim's. Rayburn was watching. He goes, he's going to give me one, and he fooled and pulled the string on him.
0-2.
So I didn't think that the 8 days between times he's pitched in a big league game would hurt him any, and that's because he throws every day, but he looks pretty sharp so far. First 2 batters down 0-2. Don't even want to let them think about coming back.
And that hits Ryan Rayburn with the count 0-2. We have seen that in the past where that slider comes down and in on a right-handed batter. And now the tying run will come to the plate, and Brandon Inge.
It's in front of that shin protector. Yeah, how about that? What a perfect spot for the shin guard. Now, that's there because of the swing. And when you foul a ball off your shin, but he gets drilled in the shin, that's why he didn't even flinch. It hit the padding.
Didn't even try to get out of the way.
Rayburn, he's going good, man.
Brandon Inge has had a rough day. This guy with tremendous power, 24 home runs. He has struck out all 3 times. He struck out twice against Joe Saunders and struck out against Jose Arredondo. He struck out 4 times, twice. Fuentes would rather get the ground out here. Swing and a miss, and boy, he looks bad.
He wouldn't mind dropping a golden sombrero on him, though. Inge wouldn't think too kindly of it. But the way he keeps the ball down and has a lot of hitters off balance with that slider, because it's the 3rd straight batter now he's gotten ahead of 0-2. They'll hit into some double plays at times for him.
The pitch on the way, taken outside, barely missed. I guess the crowd of 36,329 had a better view at home plate than Jim Wolf did. This was awfully close, though.
Tell you, Jim Wolf has had one heck of a game behind the dish. He's done a great job. No complaints anywhere, either side. And, the umpires, that's what they want. They want to stay out of it. They don't want their name mentioned. Unless you've got an umpire lover up here like me, the only time we're going to mention his name is when we give him a shout out for his mom. It's in the Southern California area watching him. Way to go, Wolfie.
Mom will be proud of you. The 1-2, a swing and a foul back. They caught too much of the plate, and nice catch. And the club level. That's why you bring the glove. Angels trying to wrap up a 4-2 lead here. They lost games 1 and 2, 10-7 and 5-3. They're the only team in the major leagues yet to lose 4 in a row. Hit Brandon Inge, and the ball escapes back to the screen. That will allow Rayburn to move to second base, and right now that takes the double play away from the Angels. And Mike Napoli calling time, wants to visit with Brian Fuentes. Wild pitch.
Okay, that slider, it's a big one. It's hard to contain for him sometimes. He has to start it way outside because you can see how it comes to the back leg of the righty. Inge, a nice little tap dance to get out of the way of him.
3 toughest outs in baseball are the final 3 in the 9th inning. Ryan got the first man, Marcus Thames, to pop up, but then on 0-2 hit Ryan Rayburn. Now he's throwing a wild pitch. The 2-2. Swung on, soft line drive, struck to Meisler's turf for out number 2.
Inge just happy he didn't strike out. Want to put the ball in play.
So the Tigers down to their final out, and it will be a guy who grew up an Angel fan, Gerald Laird. Came to the Big A a lot, he told me, growing up. Fine player at La Quinta High School. He had several big games with the Texas Rangers against the Angels, including a 2-homer game. Lefty-righty matchup. Laird has flied out twice and popped up. And Laird gets hit. So now the Tigers have 2 on with 2 out, and Laird is in pain, rolling around in front of home plate.
When effect caught him in the knee, that's real unfortunate. Because he's doing a lot of squat, a lot of bending, and sure enough, looks like Kevin Rand, the outstanding trainer for the Tigers, is having to administer a little bit of love on that knee. Ooh, man, that's tough. Now, I guess maybe the 8-day layoff did affect the slider, if anything, on Fuentes, and most likely he might have to go to the bench and bring a pinch runner in for Laird.
That's the 5th hit batter by Fuentes this year.
That sound you heard was a ball on bone. Caught him on the inside of the right knee. Ooh, man, that's a tough place to get hit. He'll be sore for that one. It's a good thing they got an off day tomorrow, so I can hit him on the left knee, not on the outside.
And Laird's speed mighty important. If Adam Everett gaps one, he could score, and that would tie the game. Adam runs well for a catcher. Avila is the backup catcher. But now you've got Rayburn at second base. Laird the tying run at first base. The batter is Adam Everett, who's already had a good game with a 2-run home run back in the 5th and a single in the 7th. He had a grand slam earlier this year to help the Tigers beat the Cleveland Indians. Everett doesn't give you that much power. He only has 3 home runs this year. Fuentes does not want to face the man in the on-deck circle. I don't care if he's left-handed or right-handed. That's Curtis Granderson. And Everett swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Ibar wants it. Eric's there. Makes the catch, and the Angels' 3-game losing streak is over. Ryan Fuentes picks up his 36th save of the year, and that ties him with Mariano Rivera for most in the American League. So you can light up the halo. It's a celebratory welcome back for Joe Saunders Rex as he wins his 10th of the year.
Yes, congratulations. Sando looked really